You can divide every civilization in history into two kinds of people: those who own things and those who borrow them. That's not about wealth, it's about responsibility. Ownership means you care for something, you invest in it, you shape it, and in return, it shapes you. When you own your home, you think differently. You notice the roof, you fix the door, you plant trees that won't mature for like 10 years. In other words, you start to think long term. Ownership makes you a steward of the future. But when everything is rented, your home is rented, your car, your tools, your software, even your sense of belonging is borrowed, you lose that stewardship of the long term. You stop thinking like a builder and you start thinking very much like a user or a renter. And civilizations don't rise on the backs of users. They've always risen on the backs of builders. The landlord and the tenant are not just roles, they're mindsets. The landlord mentality says, I will bear the cost now so that I can create value later in the future. The tenant mentality, on the other hand, says, I'll pay for convenience right now and I'll leave the consequences to someone else in the future. And that difference right there is the dividing line between a flourishing culture and a declining one. It's the dividing line between people who build their world and the people who just consume what's around them. Now, I don't mean that we all have to literally become landlords, but you do have to own something in your life. You have to own your craft or your work or your family or your faith, something that you're willing to improve and maintain and defend even at the cost of your life. Because the moment you stop owning something, when you live your entire life on borrowed ground, you lose your stake in that future. You lose your voice, and soon someone else will literally tell you how you need to live on the land that you used to call your own. And think about that in relation to whether or not your landlord even lets you paint your walls the color you want to paint them. That's what losing your stake in the future literally looks like. Civilization itself is the story of ownership.